ranking every game I've played in 2023. This is going to include games I played for the first time this year, as well as games which I've played previous years and just kept playing. So I guess let's start off with the Rivals of Aether here, specifically the workshop mode, because there's a difference. I'm going to give it a B. I don't really play this too much, just feeling like sitting down and playing with people, and also getting people to play it. It's good though, it's fun. I think if I were to rate the actual game, it would probably be lowered to like C, just because workshop is probably the bulk of it. As well, man, I could get all of the ones that I played previously, like Binding of Isaac, I've played previously and played a few times this year. I know everyone loves Binding of Isaac, that's like everyone's like big roguelike. That's like such a favorite. But I don't know, I mean, it's fun, it's fine. I think it's either C or B, it's middle of the road for me. If I were to choose between playing Rivals of Aether Workshop or Binding of Isaac, I would choose Workshop. Beat Saber, I mean, you can never go wrong with Beat Saber. It's just a classic. It's so fun. Although a lot of the times, modded Beat Saber to get like custom songs. Fortnite's such a pick where it's like, I feel like I want to hate the game, but it's actually pretty fun. But only when it has a gimmick. Like when it's got like some of the crazy gimmicks, which it constantly is cycling through, it is pretty fun. I can't lie. And then Risk of Rain 2. Risk of Rain 2 is such a banger. That's like a top one for me. I have so much time in Risk of Rain 2. That's a really good one. I think that one shines the most when doing it with people. And a lot of roguelikes do have the problem of getting stale after a while, but Risk of Rain 2 still fun. Smash Ultimate, that's a big one. That's a tough one for me. Because I played it since it came out. That's been a big one in my friend group. But over time, I would say from this year's experience, it's been going downhill over time, especially since nothing is coming out anymore for it. I'll put it above Rivals. No, but it's such a good one still, even for just like the casual, like if I have people over, it's like, oh, that's what we're doing. I'll put it here. It'll be below Fortnite though for now, which feels so weird. Hollow Knight, I played a single randomizer this year. So that'll be what I'm rating, not the game itself. If I were rating the game itself, S tier, no competition. I'm going to rate that one randomizer run I did, which the video will come out eventually for that. I think that randomizer took so fucking long. I'm going to put it as B, because it was still very fun to play. Last game that I've played previous years, as well as this year, would be Tabletop Simulator. Now this one's a tough one, because Tabletop Simulator is only as fun as you make it. And typically, it's only fun if you have a bunch of people, and a group of people that can kind of like, you know, mess around with it, have fun with it, and then finding certain things to do. Like when we played Cursed Uno and just a bunch of like random board games for those 2 videos, that was a blast. That was really fun nights. But other than that, it's such an iffy one, it depends. So I'm going to put it in C. I'm going to put it below Isaac, because Isaac at least has that consistency. Tabletop Simulator is just too inconsistent for me. Like if I were to boot that up right now, I would be bored as fuck. It would be bottom of F, because I'm not playing tabletop on my own. Alright, now we can get to everything from this year, finally. I will say, actually, you know, I'm gonna actually check on prices for all these, because the price points on games can change things. Ain't no way Hollow Knight's $8. Get that motherfucking game up there. Holy shit, that's $8 for that game? After all the popularity of Hollow Knight, it's only $8? That's crazy. They got Risk of Rain 2 for $13 right now. That's crazy. Like, considering, like, Smash is, like, $60 and all that. Rivals of Aether is $15. You know, I'm going to lower Smash below Rivals then. Oh, Beat Saber's $30. Hold up, I'm taking that into account. I'm going to lower Beat Saber below Fortnite, because Fortnite's just free, so that does help its case, and it's pretty fun, despite how much I hate to admit that. I'm going to take price into account, because, you know, the difference between an $8 game and a $60 game, but still going to take overall experience currently this year with the games. Super Mario RPG, I had a lot of fun with that game. It was short, simple. There wasn't really a story, which helped it in its like simplicity aspect, because some RPGs need a lot of time investment, and you need to care and spend a lot of time getting invested in these characters and the plots and all that to really get that full experience. This had like no plot. It was like, let's just do stuff. It was never complex, never like, you know, too much out there. You didn't have to invest emotionally in it, and therefore it was a lot shorter because of that, which I think worked very well for it. It didn't have an insane amount of bullshit collectibles or anything like that either. It was nice, simple, to the point, and it was great. Until You Fall is a $14 VR roguelike. That was pretty fun. I'm going to put that above Beat Saber. And then I'm going to lower Beat Saber. Just because Beat Saber's fun, but the $30 price point, especially when it doesn't even come with the modded, and you have to do a lot of extra setup for Beat Saber modded compared to like some other things like Rivals of Aether. I guess we could go with some of the roguelikes next. Have a Nice Death is $17 or free if you just beat it within 2 hours and then refund it on Steam, which is exactly what I did because the game, it was kind of easy. I do think the attacking movement and all the abilities of the character are pretty fun, but it was just so short that I could beat it within 2 hours. Less than 2 hours to beat the entirety of it. Which, for a roguelike, a lot of the process is, oh, okay, you're starting to move along, you're getting the abilities, you're seeing all the new enemies, and then, okay, there's that wall you hit, and then you go again, you try and learn the patterns, maybe get some upgrades, try a new build, and you keep going. This is like, okay, my second run, I just beat the game. And it was like, oh, okay, do I do it again? But, like, I've already gotten everything good enough to do, so, I like the movement and abilities a bit more than Isaac, so I'll put it above Isaac because of that. And while I'm at it, I'm going to put Dead Cells at the exact same. Because Dead Cells was the same experience. I beat it like run 2 or 3. I think it might have, I don't know, it might have been shorter than Have a Nice Death. I don't remember. But it was also one that I could just beat in 2 hours and refund. And holy shit, looking at it now, let's put Beyond the Long Night there as well. Because that is the exact same. You know what I could do now is go through like some of the free games. Like some of like the one-off videos I made on like the free games, just because it's like, oh, I saw this game, it's free, so sure, fuck it, why not? I'm gonna be honest, this one's like a deer app. Wasn't special, wasn't original, wasn't like anything. It was just kind of meh, alright, it exists. I think maybe there was like 1 or 2 bosses, but they weren't tough at all. It was like the game was relatively easy, and just kind of a whole lot of nothing. I think Super Ordinary Joe is the exact same type of thing for me, but also worse, because it was like, oh, that was funny at first, but then after that it was just very repetitive, tedious, and just kind of meh. F-099, I'm gonna bump that up, but like, for me, I play it for a bit, maybe 20, 30 minutes, and I'm like, alright, that was a fun one-off, I guess. Time to not touch that again. But I did enjoy what I played of it, and it is free, so that always helps. Yo, FPS chess though? FPS chess was kind of a banger. That was very funny. It didn't seem super like flushed out, because some of the pieces definitely felt better than the others, and like the movement and the FPS part wasn't the greatest, but it was just so fucking funny that it's like, oh, chess but first person shooter. Like a lot of these free games, I don't go into it expecting anything. I expect the lowest possible. Like, I expect it to not be great. FPS Chess was a funny one-off. F-099 was fun for a bit. These two were kind of as I expected, where they was like, oh, okay, that's kind of as I expected. I wasn't expecting much, and they delivered. But, 2 games right now, 2 free ones. The finals, that shit was kind of dope, let's be real. They had the 3 characters with their different builds, and each one of you can have other different weaponry, builds. I think my favorite part was that everything was destructive. Like, if you pick the heavy, you take the hammer, you just smash buildings, and it's so fun. Like, the destruction mechanics are so fun. You got, like, grappling hook with, like, the light guy, and it's like, oh, that's such a fun one. And it's free. Honestly, because of that, I'm gonna put it in A. And looking at the list, my prejudice against Fortnite is showing for me, because I'm like, oh my god, why is Fortnite up here of all things? Because that's, like, the one where you think of and you're like, oh, Fortnite? Oh my god, that game? But it's like one of those games where if you play it, you realize, it's kind of fun, and why is this actually kind of fun? Why do the developers actually care about the game? And it's one of those things where I have trouble like separating the actual game from the fan base for that one, because it's so like integrated that like when you think of Fortnite, you think of all of like the toxic 9-year-olds on there, or all of like the shitty memes for it. Back to the free games that are actually really fun and surprising. Outcore being the latest one I've played. I wasn't expecting much. It was a huge shit post at first, but then actually was like really fun throughout all of it, and I was not expecting that, especially from like a free game like this. It did something completely unique and original for me, being like played on your actual desktop and like controlled files and stuff, open up like MS Paint to solve certain puzzles, while then slowly incorporating the story so that way when the time it gets to the actual story you actually remember it and care, because they realize you're just going into this because of shit post and unique concept. In total, it took me 3 hours of gameplay to beat, so it was longer than Dead Cells, Have a Nice Death, Beyond the Long Night, all of those. I might be crazy, I'm gonna give it an A. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. Your Only Move is Hustle goes for $4, which isn't much. I got it for free because I got it during the beta, so I don't know how much it's changed since then. This one heavily involves having another person, and at the time I played it, there was only the 3 characters, so it seems a bit limited. was pretty fun. I think it was more so like a one-off for me though. So I'm also going to put it around FPS chess. I'm slightly better though, because the turn-based fighting game combat stuff worked, whereas FPS chess was more so just funny and felt a little janky though. CSGO. It is a free one, but I was told by my friends that I needed to get the Prime status because of lobby matchmaking. I don't remember exactly what they said. They basically said, hey, you need to get it. You need to get the paid version. And so I did. I forget how much it was. Checking on it, it's $15 for the Prime status. It wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't really like it. I think I made the most of it when I did play it originally by just messing around and having fun with it. I like first-person shooters that have like a variety. Like something that makes each character like different or like a different play style type of thing, as opposed to everyone, you know, get your guns. You can't move while shooting. I didn't like that. It felt jank, and it's an old game, so a lot of the people playing, pretty much the only people playing were people who were really good at the game, which was apparent because it was very obvious, like huge skill gap going into it. So the only way I really had fun with it was just messing around, but that could only last so long. Other than that, the actual game, it was kind of like, not my type. I was bringing the Cuphead DLC specifically. That was a good, I think, maybe, I don't know, like 2-3 hours maybe? I don't know. Me and my friend did the co-op for it, and we just did it in one sitting. And it was pretty good. The DLC was very good. I'm going to give that a B. The bosses had a good amount of uniqueness to them. I remember there's the one dog on the plane where you had to tilt your head sideways to actually play constantly, and it was pretty cool with that. I'm gonna up at high B. You know, maybe I gave Outcore too much. Although it is a free game and it was pretty fun, it also might be recency bias because it was literally the last game I played. I don't think it's better than Until You Fall. Until You Fall is a very fun VR roguelike that just makes you feel sick with everything you do. Maybe, yeah, I'll lower Outcore to high B. I'm going to lower Beat Saber to bottom of B, just because the $30 price point and the modding is pretty much needed for it really harms that. Ultra Kill, it's $19, fucking blast. Ultra Kill is such a fun game. The movement in the game feels so good to play with. All of the weapons and guns have uniqueness to them to fit each play style and are very sick. Killing things in it feels so awesome. And that's basically the entire game. You just go from level to level just killing everything. And it's just so fun. The parry where you punch bullets back at enemies. Oh, this is a great game. I'm easily up here. I'm adding it to S. And the soundtrack for it was banging. You know, while I'm at that, Fury has the exact same type of thing. The movement was pretty nice. The combat was fine. And the combat was all it was, basically. So, you know, that's plus. And the soundtrack was also banging. I think it was a bit shorter than Ultra Kill. And Ultra Kill actually had updates too. I need to get back to that, actually. Fury, I don't know, I think it fell a bit more short compared to Ultra Kill, though. But I think it was good. Especially because Fury, yeah, oh, damn, Fury's only $6 as well. So yeah, that definitely, I'm putting that above the $60 Super Mario RPG. This list so far is just making me realize how overpriced some of the mainline games are now. Like, a lot of these games, I'm like, wait a minute, that's only like $10? $8 for Hollow Knight? And then I'm having to pay $60 for like all these big titles. Mostly Nintendo games. And speaking of Nintendo games and big titles, let's just get to those. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, $60 game. Very buggy, glitchy, kind of like worn down on Pokemon over time, especially because highest grossing media franchise, but their games seem way less quality compared to what they could be, especially with all the bugs and glitches. But I think the bugs and glitches enhanced it because that was very funny. I think it was just average. It's definitely a B for me. It was such an average game. Debating on this one, yeah, I can't be bothered to think too much on that. Let's just leave it there. It was okay. Fire Emblem Engage. Currently, I'm going to leave it here because I haven't finished it yet. I'll leave it there for now. I will eventually get to it and finish the game. It's just I've been occupied with all the other games that have come out and just haven't felt like sitting down to actually finish it yet. But from the little bit I have played, it's been fun. Tears of the Kingdom. I like that game. That was really good. Fixed the big issue of Breath of the Wild where a lot of the area felt empty. Kind of in a reverse, which slightly harmful way, mostly for people who like to 100% games. There's shit everywhere. You go 10 feet and it's like, here's something to do. Whether it be Korok, puzzle, shrine, map thing, like just anything. They have the underground, they have the above ground, the sky. It's like, wow, it's such a huge game. After like 200 hours, I'm just only a little bit over 50% in the game. I'm no longer 100%ing the game because of that. But from what I played, it was so fun. The movement felt great, combat felt great, just the exploration was fun. The creativity on like putting things together and building your own thing was always fun. Like when you put together a plane for the first time in that game, you're like, oh, this is sick. I did that. Which is more fun than if a game gives you a plane. Xenoblade 3 DLC. Gameplay-wise, the best out of any of the Xenoblades. The combat was much more polished. The exploration was really good. I like how they incorporated exploration into actually getting upgrades to like incentivize exploring so that way you can upgrade your stuff. They also had like trackers and stuff to make it also easier and more convenient so you knew where to go. There was the nostalgia factor of them bringing Rex and Shulk back, as well as all those people. The character voice acting was really good. The characters, they made me care about them. It was really good. The only thing I wasn't the biggest fan on was the story. Like the story didn't, looking back and remembering, most of the game there was no story. The story stuff only happened and started really happening like at the very end of the game, when you're in like the home stretch and like, okay, now let's actually hit you with story. Other than that, you're basically just going through the world. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Enough said. When I played, did not pay attention to the story, only slightly for certain things, because some of the cutscenes are just hilarious. Like, when you have Monsoon, you're about to fight this dude, and he's just ranting about memes for like 5 minutes. And then in the cutscene, you move the camera, and you just see some dude in the background just petting a cat. And it's like, what is happening here? The big thing, though, I think Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance has my favorite combat in any game. The combat is so fun. Like, that's the best part about it. And it's mostly just combat. Like, fighting things feels so fun. You feel so cool when you're doing it. There's a lot of new combos and things you can do for it, but all of it just looks so cool and feels so fluid and nice when doing it. Not to mention, the music. The music's so good. Like, you're fighting this giant mech, running down a building, dodging his missiles and lasers before jumping to slash him, and Rules of Nature's playing in the back? Oh my god, there's nothing better than that. That's such a banger game. Alright, let's get, I played like 3 of the old Fire Emblem games. I don't remember which ones. My friend Owen got me to play them. I'm just grouping them all up together, because my experience on them were pretty much the same of I'm going to get some characters. I'm going to hold forward with them. If they die, that's their fault. Ooh, yikes. Should have played better. And if they win, that's my guy. That's my guy. He's going to get over-leveled because he's just going to do good. And, I mean, it's free if you just get it for your Nintendo PC. So, you know, that's fine. I'm going to put it above the roguelike section now that I've built up here. Just because total playtime, it offered a lot more. And that's with speed up. So I don't know how it would have been without speed up. Maybe it would have felt very slow. I'm not sure. Sonic Frontiers is $24, which is surprising that it's not like a $60 title. I thought it was good. Top A. Top A. Going fast throughout the world was very fun. So, you know, that's good for a Sonic game. Some of the exploration, especially the mandatory exploration, did not like that. Did not like that. Hated the mandatory exploration, especially with how much you had to do. Which, lowering it now, thinking, I'm remembering it. I'm remembering it. Because I remember I would go, complete the objective, and it'd be like, alright, cool. Good job, Sonic. Now go get like 20 MacGuffins. I mean, there was some fights throughout the world, but other than that, the worlds all felt like they just, like missing something. I think most of it was just because of how much I had to go through getting collectibles, which sucked. But the combat was fun. The movement going fast around things was also fun, so that's good for Sonic game. And the boss fights were also really fun. You'd always go supersonic, and they would have actually good soundtrack. They would have some banging music while you fight these giant mechs. It was basically kind of like the Metal Gear bosses, but not as good. Not nearly as good. It was like the off-brand version of Metal Gear Rising's bosses, which is still, that's high praise. Celeste, for a $5 game, this was pretty fun. You just go through. It wasn't too challenging, and it was pretty fun. So I'm gonna put that at the top of A, maybe bottom of S. No, bottom of S with $5 for that. Yeah, that was really good. That was a good one. Lethal Company, $10 game. Lethal Company's hilarious, but it does have the drawback of needing a group of people. You need a good group of people, and also I think a lot of the fun is starting to come from modded for me. I don't know how much fun vanilla would have anymore. It's like I'm getting more stimulation from it by adding things constantly. Because if I don't, then it might just start feeling bland. But as of now, it's been so fun, and me and a good group of people, like we got like 5 or 6 of us like consistently each time we play. We've been playing that for like over a month straight. It's been fun. One Piece Odyssey, I'm gonna leave it here as well. Same thing with Fire Emblem Engage. have not finished it yet. I eventually will get to it. Every time I post a video, it's usually like several months apart on that one. A lot of that's because I usually, when I sit down and record that, I do one chapter at a time. And a lot of times, playing through a chapter takes like 6 hours to then turn into like a 15-20 minute video. And that's because most of it is backtracking. A lot of it's like, oh hey, go walk through an entire desert to get to this place. And then once you're there, talk to this dude before walking on the opposite side again. They implement a fast travel system, but you can't ever use it. So a lot of it's just pain of just, oh, time to hold forward for the next 5 minutes before I get told to hold forward for another 5 minutes. And then maybe I'll encounter some things on the way where I use the auto battle and speed up for it. Because let's be real, with walking constantly to places, it's been bad. It's so bad to the point where, honestly, I pull up a separate game to play during it. When I'm recording Piece Odyssey, I'll open a separate game on my other monitor. So that way, while I'm holding forward, walking to a certain place, or like in combat during those times, I can have something to do. Because they really need to fix the tedious, insane amount of just backtracking and walking through places. I make joke of it in the videos, but it is bad. Worldless, $16 game. It's pretty unique. Pretty fun. It's like a fighting game, Metroidvania hybrid. And I'll leave it right there. Let's just pretend Overwatch isn't on here, shall we? I don't want to admit to playing that game, despite like having like 10 videos of it on my channel. For the people who play the game, it's such like a huge debate on whether it's good or not. Because to be honest, I'm still playing it, am I not? But the community's toxic. The developers don't give a shit about the community or the players. Hence the overpriced skins for everything. They take out all the fun things. Nothing. They just don't listen to the people who play the game at all and actively say go fuck yourself. It's shocking if you go 2 games without someone being toxic in chat. Honest, I take that. It's shocking if you go a game without someone being toxic in chat. People always flaming others on like voice comms on the team. No one can work together. There's a lot of unbalanced things, and it's just such a mess of a game. It is free though. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna leave it here. Just because of the fact that for some reason I just can't understand why I'm still playing it. Well, there you have it. That's my tier list for every game I've played in 2023. And yes, I know some of these are probably going to be terrible opinions to the everyman watching. You're probably gonna look at these and be like, oh, I can't believe you put so-and-so there. Fortnite in A? Or you're like, oh, CSGO, this guy sucks. He just doesn't get it. Can't believe he put it in F. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I fucked up royally somewhere. I'm curious to see where some others would put these compared to like my listing. But with that, thanks for watching.